and we're recording. Okay, I'm having to use a multi-camera thing to get this done. Again, it's the best software I can find right now. Okay, there's a 2-hour video taken from our porch the day we filed our divorce. And this requires a lot of backstory. I have to give it every time because I'm breaking this video up to each issue that we're discussing on the porch. God, man, sorry. One moment, I thought I shut this off. I didn't, apparently. Oh, come on. There we go. That remote, I think, is going out. Anyway, so, all right. Tara and I decided to get a divorce. And I repeatedly told her that we read through divorce, everything that's in it, why it has to be there. This, with someone like Tara, this took far too long. It really did. The nitpicked everything, whatever. And so I made the little changes to make her happy, whatever. And so we get up there to file the divorce, and she's like, and I told her never in front of the court, and when I mean the court, I mean the moment you walk through those doors, never, ever, ever act like you're not on board with whatever you're filing. Because the moment you put that out there, the court will latch onto that, and then you're screwed. Of course, I don't know what I'm talking about. So we get up there, and Tara's like, well, I need to read it to make sure you didn't change it. And I look directly at the, the clerk, and the clerk's like, and I was just like, and so I started talking about the weather. I don't know what I'm talking about. I tried to distract it from the fact that Tara's reading this. And about 3/4 of the way through reading it, Tara has major mental problems. And it shouldn't be a surprise to nobody. And 3/4 of the way through reading it, she's like, what's this? Why is this in here? And just went fucking nuts in the clerk's office. And the court clerk reached down to that little button they keep under their deal. Because what happens after they hit that button, right, is you being face planted and cuffed. And she reached down, and I was like, and she didn't. I mean, she kept, you could see her hand going, I want to. And Tara's flipping out. And I mean, there's people coming out of doors. I mean, peeking over monitors like, what in the hell? And so Tara does her flip out crap. I don't know how long, doesn't matter. And you can see from the time on the video, this is the day we filed it. Of course, almost 5 o'clock in the evening, whatever. The day we filed it. And I mean, she's doing all this trip out stuff, and the court clerk just stands there and listens. And she's like, well, if you'll hold on just a moment. And she prints it out, and here's the thing, and I've done this a long time. I used to be a law clerk, I went to law school, all this fun stuff. So there are certain things, well, and it's changed. Here we go, I'll admit it, I'm happy to admit when I'm wrong. Used to, in a divorce application or filing, you had to make all these stupid, and it's required by statutory law. I'm not going to poke you in the eye with a sharp stick. I'm not going to burn your mail. I won't kill your cat. I mean, whatever. It's just stupid stuff you have to do this big list. Well, I included it in there. Well, she, and you'll see in the other videos about this thing, she perceived it as just singling out her. And just went nuts. Well, after she gets done with her little flip out thing, the court clerk, she's over there highlighting, and I'm watching her, and the court clerk, kudos to you. I swear, because you did it great. You really did. And she's just over there highlighting, and she's waiting for Tara to run out of steam. She's like, well, ma'am, if you'll notice here, and here, the thing she's included in that pleading is already a standing order before the court. This is your copy. Dun, 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 shut down. So, I thought it through. I got over my emotional part of it because I was so mad that I told her, whatever you do, don't do this. And that's the first damn thing she did. Because how that works is pretty simple. All right. This is going to sound derogatory, and it is, but I can't help it. Judges are sitting up there, and they're buddies with every damn lawyer that walks through that door. And the moment you go, But he's like, oh, it's contested. Go get a lawyer. Because his buddy, the lawyer, gets money. See how this works? So anyway, I was mad as hell. She wouldn't listen. She never listens. That's been a problem for 38 years. And Tara knows better than everybody. Okay. So anyway, we come back, and I told her, I said, we need to sit down and talk to this because everything I told you not to do, I mean, we're barely 24 hours into this divorce at this point, and you just screwed up everything in one action. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, the rest of the story, and this has been documented as historically accurate, whatever. Tara, the gal sitting right there, had a very bad habit of sleeping with anybody and everybody that was my friend, and it drove a wedge between me and my friends. I don't know how many friends I lost. I had a few friends step forward and say, man, she tried to sleep with me. Screw this, I'm out of here. So we lost roommates. We lost places to live because now we lost the income and blah, 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 whatever. I mean, you just can't fix that kind of mental problem. So one of my, probably the best friend I ever had in the world, Steve Duger was his name. I don't remember how we met, anything else, but me and him were good friends. And he come to me, he's like, hey, man, she tried to sleep with me. I said, look at my surprise. And he's like, yep, figured. And so we just went forward from there. I mean, we knew it was going to happen. We'd talked about it even before because we know Tara. That's what she does. Those legs only close for me, and they're open for everybody else. And that's been, because that's my lure, my bait, and my punishment, depending on whether they're open or closed. So, all right. So after we got back together, and Steve kept telling me not to, and I'm sorry, buddy. Here we are. After we got back together, well, okay. Before we got back together, let me back up just a little bit. Me and Steve were doing something, and he's like, hey, man, let's go get some sunglasses. And I was like, I mean, really? I've got a $2 pair of Walmart sunglasses. What does that matter? No, let's go get some good ones. So he talked me into it, or I talked him into it, or we talked each other into it. Doesn't matter. We went down and bought custom Oakley sunglasses. And I'm telling you right now, that was expensive. Back then, it was $255. Nowadays, it would probably be $3,000 to buy these dang glasses we bought. And they were just kind of cool. It was show off piece and whatever. And I'll admit it, I turned and bought a Rolex after that. Ooh, look at me, I'm cool, right? So whatever, doesn't matter. And but either way around, after me and Tara got back together, I kept my Oakleys laying up there, and he'd come in and laid his down beside mine and put it where it was safe. Nothing would mess with it because they're damn expensive, And I don't remember, she popped us up and she said something, doesn't matter what it is, and he came right back and was like, boom, ain't taking your shit, me and him were doing the shit pool, blah, 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 And it whatever. And then, I don't remember exactly the whole details of events. I went to looking for my sunglasses, couldn't find them. And then he's like, well, they were laying right here beside mine. We looked everywhere, couldn't find them. And we finally gave up or whatever. Well, then Tara, I don't remember how long after that, she admitted, she's like, well, I'm sorry, but I thought they were Steve's, and he said something I didn't like, so I broke them and threw them in the trash. So I went over there and dug them out of the trash, and she broke them all right. She broke them good. There wasn't no repair on them. They were toast. 200, and I was like, okay, I'm going to skip that particular language. I was not happy. I used lots of bad language. It basically said, you effing B, those are my sunglasses, you effing B, and your rage and hate, you destroyed my stuff, not your targets, and the fact that you would do it at all is a problem. Okay. She admitted to it, she cried. Well, he said bad things to me. Now notice this, I remember this. She never said, I'm sorry. She said, well, he said bad things to me and I thought they were his. Always an excuse for why she did it. Okay. And I begin this conversation because the part in, and I know I'm coming right full circle here, the part in the divorce decree that has to be there is how one person will treat the other person's stuff. It basically says no party has a right to destroy, alter, do all these bad things to the other person's stuff. Okay. All right. And so that's what she flipped out about. You know, she even screamed in there. She's like, well, what about you when you destroyed my diaper? I don't know. She just went on this tirade of list of things that I destroyed, and I may have destroyed some of them. I don't have no fucking clue. I mean, she got me so triggered throughout our relationship. I might have done about half the things she claims, but it is what it is. So, so this keys into this part of the argument, and my point with trying to bring this up with her, and you can tell I'm trying to be calm. Everything else, it doesn't work with Tara, of course. And I've cut out a few of the stuff before it. But what I'm trying to bring up is, do you remember when you did these things? And she's going to do the gaslighting routine, which is constant. It's typical narcissism. That, oh, no, I don't. And then she's going to deflect and say, oh, well, that was 30 years ago, so who cares? Because now I'm in counseling and that doesn't matter anymore. Okay, well, that's avoidance, denial. I mean, but we're going to sit here and watch it. I may pause it to say something if I think it's necessary. Hopefully the volume's high enough. Last time I did this, the volume was very high. I will try not to say anything, so hopefully the volume on the audio will be enough you can hear. Here we go. Okay, well, whatever. So let's cover this easy split. Okay, a long time ago, there was a pair of sunglasses that were worth $1,200 in today's money, $255 back then, that someone got offended, so they destroyed them. Can you tell me who destroyed those sunglasses?
Well, no, because I don't remember that. I have a question.
That's amazing. Now, wait a minute, because I got you recorded.
How long ago was it? How long ago was it?
I got you recorded admitting you destroyed. Notice a distraction. Oh. Well, no, I don't remember. How long ago was it? For anybody who's ever dealt with a narcissist, they're like, yep. I mean, for all you people who've never really dealt with a narcissist before, you're like, but this is normal for them. Of course, it's abnormal for normal people. I'm thinking they were Steve Dugan, then found out they were mine and hit him in the trash can because he said something you didn't like.
And how long ago since he's been dead for like 20 years, 30 years? So what I'm saying is that was 30 years ago. Okay, what I'm saying is you're still dwelling on the past. I can talk about all the shit of mine you destroyed, or the cats you made me dump, or the cats you kidnapped. And
okay, so because I didn't even put the second video on here because it's not worth it, because she just goes into this distraction routines that she doesn't remember it, then she distracts from the argument, and we go on like, oh, that part of life never happened. It's like, I slept through World War II. What do you mean? It's just crazy. But this is part of the gaslighting routine that narcissists use. It is what it is. You're never going to change it. And so either way, so that's that little key moment. This video is 2 hours long, all said and done. That's one little piece of it. I'll be working through it as quick as I can. And hopefully you guys can watch this. And well, I got to bring this up. I'm sorry, and it's very important. If you can videotape whoever it is that's doing these things to you, or you suspect it's doing it to you, because here's what they do. Once you're emotionally attached to the argument, you don't deal with it objectively. You deal with it unobjectively. You deal with it in your heart. So you get involved in all of their manipulation tactics. And part of that is they don't have emotions. So this part never distracts them while you're distracted, because your heart will distract you from your mind. I'm telling you it will. But when you record these things like this, you can go back because your heart's no longer in it. You're just watching with your mind going, why did I say that? Why did I do that? Why didn't I notice? Why didn't I? So you'll go through the entire argument then and go, wait a minute. Plus for the fact, and you need to listen to me on this because this helped me so much, and thank you for my counselors that did this, is that when I recorded this stuff, I started recording it. I don't even remember why I started. It doesn't matter. But I started recording it. And then in the moment I got scared because of everything that's going on, and she convinced me I was nuts and whatever. And I went to the counselors, and they said something. I was like, I've got it on video. And they're like, you do? And I said, yeah. So I started posting it for them. They're like, oh, wait, stop. I mean, they were 22 seconds or something into it. They're like, oh, wait, stop. Oh, wait, stop. We've seen this before. And they started doing a breakdown of who and what she is and how these things work. And it was a weight that was just lifted off me that, hey, thank God I'm not, and I'm not saying I'm perfect. No, I'm not going there. I've got problems. They diagnosed me with PTSD and emotional control problems. And, oh, and co-narcissistic